everyone, welcome or welcome back if you are new here, which you probably are, but if you're not, welcome back. It's good to see you again. Today we are doing the May round of the Beat the Book Trope TBR game. I'm not going to go into massive amounts of detail about the books that I read in April. I will be sharing all of my thoughts on those in my wrap up, so if you're interested in my thoughts, please stick around for that. The list of the completed books are: for detective fiction, I read A Study in Charlotte. For You're Not Like Other Girls, read a book about women supporting each other, I read Moxie. For read a book where the person who looks like the bad guy is actually the good guy, or the good guy is actually the bad guy, I read The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer. I didn't think this prompt fit when I first picked it up. After reading it, I feel like I can make it fit, so that's fine. For read a book about a confident female character, this doesn't mean she's unsure of herself or doesn't have anxiety but knows her worth, I picked up The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. As you can see, I am probably just over 100 pages into this one. I will definitely get it done by the end of the month. That is absolutely fine. Being 100 pages in, I hope this fits. There is actually a lot of talk in this book about women and their worth. I hope it ends up fitting. For a non-fiction book, I started the Cognitive Behavioural Therapy book, which I am reading. I haven't finished it and I don't want to rush it. I didn't realise when I picked it up, but it's a book where you have to obviously work through it and stuff, but you have it's almost like a workbook in audio form, so you write stuff down, and it's really interesting, but I'm not planning to rush through it. It's my fault. I should have probably picked a different audiobook. I'm still working my way through that one. As for the challenges, for Take a Chance on Me, it's You'll Miss Me When I'm Gone, and I am definitely going to complete this one before the end of the month. For Challenge Yourself, it was read the highest rated book on your TBR, and that changed from my last video. So in my last video it was Skyward. However, I did a whole reorganization thing of my bookshelves and I realized that I didn't have some on there, and that included The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse, which when I put it onto my Goodreads TBR, this ended up being the highest rated, and as the challenge was to read the highest rated book on your TBR, this is the one that I read. And for Up the Ante, we had to read 5 Shakespeare stories, and for this one, I'm going to have to take some sort of punishment. I need to come up with punishments, apparently. I didn't read it. I'm not going to read them before the end of the month. I know that it's not happening. I feel like punishments could be reading related or just fun forfeit type things. I could not, but I've seen other people do games and stuff, and it's always quite fun stakes. So if you have any ideas, please feel free to leave them down below. I will probably take them on and might actually inspire me as well. So with all that said and done, let's move on. Now we have the tropes. For the tropes, what I've decided is that we're going to read them out here and now and then forget about them. I'll leave them linked down below for future videos, but I thought it would be kind of dull going through them every single time, and then at the end of the year I could go back to them and see how many I have checked off, kind of thing. I could do that every month, but let me know what you think would be good for viewing. Would you want that? Would you want a reminder of them every single month, or should it just be this check-in now and then a check-in at the end of the year? So for trope 1, insta-love, romanticised abuse and love triangles galore. Defeat these tropes by reading A Slow Burn Romance, Own Person Outside of the Relationship, Friends to Lovers, Rivals to Friends to Lovers, and Forbidden Romance. I want to say here and now, obviously stuff like abuse, and there's stuff in here about diversity. I want to make sure people know I'm not trying to trivialize any of these things. These are very serious issues, but when I thought up this TBR game and thought about defeating really either personal annoying things or just in general really crappy things in books, they're things that I felt like I couldn't leave out. But if you have any thoughts or you think differently, please let me know. I'll take it out or I will rejig it, reassess it and everything like that. I'm very open to any feedback on that. So leading into the second one, you put diverse representation into your book only to kill everyone off. Bad idea. Defeat this trope by reading. 1, a book by a BIPOC author. 2, a book with LGBTQIA+ representation. 3, author of a different culture. 4, a non-fiction by a BIPOC author. And 5, a non-fiction by an LGBTQIA+ author. Moving on to the third trope, we have uninvolved or non-existent families. Defeat this trope by reading. 1, a book where the parents are killed off early. 2, a book where the parents are not involved. 3, a found family novel. 4, adoptive parents or family. 5, good relationship with the family, which I kind of want to try and have one book for each prompt. I think the Unbecoming of Mara Dyer could actually hit this prompt. So if you're interested in like monthly updates like that, let me know. Or if you think, just leave it to the end of the year, I'm more than happy to do that. Trope 4 is we're best friends, but I plan to forget about your existence as soon as I find a love interest, but don't worry, I'll be back when there's tons of drama about. Defeat this trope by reading. 1, consistent friendship not overridden by romance. 2, platonic male and female friendships. 3, girl power friendships. 4, friends to lovers. 5, realistic friendships. Trope 5 is conventional protagonist who is perfect in every way. Bonus points for if they don't know that they are perfect. Defeat this trope by reading. 1, a protagonist who is confident in their looks. 2, a plus size main character. 3, the anti-hero main character. 4, the protagonist who is not conventionally perfect. And 5, a protagonist who learns what is really important. Those are all of the tropes, and I can bring them back in December or go through them every month and see what I check off. And I think if I don't check them off, there has to be some sort of ultimate punishment. I don't know what that would be, but I feel like that should be a thing. So finally, we get into the roles for the May TBR. The first role was blue, and for that, the next one up is a 2020 release. For this one, I have decided to read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. This is a very popular book by a very popular author, so I imagine most people will have heard of it. However, from what I've heard, we follow a woman named Addie LaRue who is immortal. However, she is forgotten by everybody who meets her, except one day when she isn't. That's all I really know about this book going into it. I'm assuming it's like a catch, like she can live forever. She's lived for centuries, but nobody remembers who she is. And I guess one day somebody remembers her and it's like, WTF, like what's going on? I don't know. It was released in 2020 and I feel like I'm the only person who hasn't read this yet, so it's going on the TBR. The next role again was blue, and the next one on this is a book set in a university or college campus. For this prompt I have chosen If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. What I know of this book, I don't know if it begins in a college campus, because as far as I'm aware, I believe there was some sort of murder and the guy convicted, I think, of this murder is proclaiming his innocence to a detective and is reliving the events, as far as I'm aware. But I think the murder and stuff itself took place maybe on the college campus, or it involves some sort of college campus from what I've heard. So I'm gonna check it out. The next role was orange, and this one is to read a fictional book about books. For this prompt I have chosen Mr. Pember's 24-Hour Bookstore by Robin Sloan. If I'm being completely honest, I have no idea what this book is about. I assume it's about Mr. Pember and his 24-hour bookstore. I love reading books about books. I'm one of those strange people who loved The Starless Sea, but any book about books, I love it. I really love it, and I just want to read more of them, and I'm hoping Mr. Pember's 24-hour bookstore will involve books. The next role was yellow, and this one is to read a sci-fi book. So for this one I was having trouble deciding between Recursion by Blake Crouch and A Space Between Worlds by Micaiah Johnson. This one I bought pretty recently. This one has been on my TBR for probably a good couple of years now. They both sound amazing. Like, the space between worlds, I'm fairly certain, has something to do with parallel universes, and recursion, I believe, is about a man whose son has been completely erased from the world. That's the basics, I guess, of what I know about both of these books. I think I'm gonna go with recursion just because it has been on my TBR for such a long time, and that seems fair. Like, it seems fair to this. If I have time for both, I will probably read both, but there are like 4 readathons that I kind of want to take part in this month. The 5th and final role was green, and this one is really long. The main character has just been introduced to a brand new world and suddenly they're an expert in everything. Read a book where a character is introduced to a brand new world but they have a realistic introduction. So obviously it's difficult to tell for this one before reading the book, but for this one I have chosen Rivers of London by Ben Aravinich. I don't know much of what this one is about either. This one was recommended by a friend. I believe it involves a guy who works for the Metropolitan Police and he comes across a ghost or a supernatural entity of some sort, and because of that he is recruited to work in a small and I'm assuming unknown area of the organisation, specifically dealing with the paranormal and supernatural. It involves investigative stuff, which I love, and I'm really hoping that I love this. Now for the challenges, and I am scared. I'm scared because, like I say, there's 4 readathons that I want to take part in this month, so should I be doing these? No. But they're part of my game, so I'm doing them anyway. So the first set of challenges that I'm going to be doing are the Take a Chance on Me. I couldn't shuffle before, and now I really can't. My sister is doing some sort of like nail course, and she needed to do like acrylics on somebody. I've never had acrylics before in my life. I am struggling, but I kind of like the dramaticness of them. Anyway, I'm gonna pick a card now. Okay. Oh god, I'm scared. I'm actually really scared. Okay, take a chance on me. What am I taking a chance on this month? Fire and Heist. Did I sound Australian then? Fire and Heist by Sarah Beth Durst. Okay. Okay, so we have Fire and Heist for this one. I have 0 ideas what this is about. This one I think came in a Fairy Elite subscription box and I haven't read it. I haven't read any. I cancelled that subscription because I was loving the stuff but I wasn't reading the books. So just for a snippet, it says socialite, were-dragon, thief. The only thing worth stealing is the truth. Okay. I'm not mad about it. These 2 I am scared of. Let's go with Up the Ante first. I'm saying, should I even be doing all 3 of them? Because I know that I shouldn't, because I have so much that I want to read this month. But here I am. I'm doing it anyway. I'm just a sucker for punishment, apparently. So for Up the Ante we have... read the Philip Pullman series. Is that just... I wrote it. Oh my goodness. See, if it's just the trilogy, it's fine. If it's the Book of Dust as well, which is the only one I own, I don't own the subsequent ones which have come out yet. So I mean, doesn't mean I get to buy more books. I'm sat here questioning it. I really don't have a choice. I mean, I do, and I do really want to read it. So I guess if I don't, I can always put it back in. If I don't complete like any challenge, except the Shakespeare ones, I'm going to put them back in because it is stuff that I do genuinely want to do. Okay, and challenge yourself. I'm scared. I'm really scared. Challenge yourself. Okay. Challenge. Do a 24-hour readathon. I can do that. I can so do that. Oh my god, I'm so happy. Do you have any idea the stuff that's in here? And I pull that, I'm so happy. That's actually gonna help me this month. So yeah, I'm really bad at them. I always fall asleep. This weekend is actually like, it's bank holiday. No, it's like Monday. Monday is bank holiday. Okay, I'm excited. I'm good. Breathe. Breathe, it's good, it's fine, we're good. So that is it. These are all the books that I'm set to read in the month of May, including the Philip Pullman series, which I can't be bothered to pull out right now, plus the Challenge Yourself 24-hour readathon, which is so going to help me this month. I am so happy. But yeah, this was fun. Like I say, if you have any ideas for like punishments or forfeits or whatever this month, or any month, leave them down below. If you enjoyed this video and you would like to know how I get on in May, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!